Hey friends, in a minute I'm going to switch to live audio, but for now I just wanted to give you a little synopsis of what we're going to do here. What happens is we have a building that was recently separated, so we need to do some switch wiring in order to separate the way the lights go. One area needs to be on while the other area needs to be off and so forth. In other words, they need to have their independent switches. So that's what we're going to work on today.
So we're trying to relocate some switches. If you come in on this side, I turned the power off and located this switch right here. Does this room. And unfortunately we're building a partition wall. This switch does that room. So we want to take this switch and put it over to this side. This is just a junction box was next to it, so I'm going to put a blank on that. But then to cut in for that switch that we don't want over there and over here, I've figured out a space by cutting in with this multi-tool that lets me, vibrate it and cut it into this. Being very careful not to cut too far through and hit the wires. Once I cut out that hole, these flanges right here, it looks like we're at the right depth. They make them, I believe, up to 3/4 of an inch. These we call them rabbit ears. They'll push against the material that way, and this sucks back in. So, and then I'm going to relocate that wire over here and bring the switch to this side. Yeah? Looks like it's just a little snug on this side, so I'm going to trim that a little bit more, but the up and down actually looks pretty good. I think for the sake, you also want to be careful because the cover plate, they're going to be right next to each other. I want to have enough room, so I'm going to cut on that side. And there is a 2x4 right there, so you can only go so far. And voila, do a little more trim on this top spot. Should be good to go. And there you go. Now I'm not going to tighten it up just yet. I'm going to get the wires, turn the breaker off, get the breakers over there. But now, don't have my pliers on me, but once you screw it, this will now tighten up in and suck up against it. It should just barely make it. I mean, that looks like 3/4 of an inch, a little bigger. It's going to be really close, but I'll probably unscrew this and bring it as big as I can, and once all the wires are in and everything, tighten it up. It's ready for the switch and for your cover plate.
Go ahead.
Alright, gonna put this junction box. I've rotated the wires from the other side for this switch in here. You can see the lights are off. Don't work with this live unless you want to be shocked. I've gone ahead and pre-punched. It comes with little spots to bring the wires into. So I've gotten this one ready. I've figured out in my box the best one to go into. Feed your wires in. We've already pre-cut the hole. So now if everything goes according to plan, make sure these flanges are in, all the screws are in. And I'm hoping that those flanges are deep enough that it should work. Using my smaller bit. And don't want to use a drill on these because you want to be able to feel it. So inside it should be getting tighter, and it is up there. I can feel it getting a little tighter. I'll hit this one. I want to do it evenly. And that's that, and we'll check back in when I'm ready to wire up the switch. But at least now it's in, the box is in. I can put a blank on that one, and then I can put a regular cover there. Alright, so here we're looking at finished, box is in. I've wired it up. It's hot, so be careful. Probably don't do what I'm doing and turn the breaker off. But on the back of each of these, it's important. I took the video of the other one before. I used to write them down, but on all three-way switches, there's an odd colored screw. So you want to make sure that's your common. And so it's, in this situation, I took a photo before to remember. The white in this one is the common switch, and it's usually the off-colored one. Without looking too close on this, I read on the back, that screw on the top right is the common screw. The travelers don't matter. And this switch goes here. There's also one at the end of the hall. And like I said, it's hot, so I made sure the ground is out of the way. I can push it back in, and I'll get a couple screws, and they'll have the switch on this side of the wall like they requested. I'm gonna screw it in now. Again, being mindful that it is hot. I usually start one. JB doesn't know how to use an impact driver, so you have to be ginger. Can't go too hard. Get our used cover plate.
Take everything that Sean says with salt.
With salt? With a grain of salt or with salt?
A cup of salt.
A cup of salt, okay. No giggling from the peanut gallery. Wait, you're a peanut? And I need a screw for there still, but not brand new. These are used components, but the important thing is the white bulb works.